I believe that I know just about everyone in the room, but for those of you who don't know me, I am Joseph Galali, Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Power Tools. I am before you today to share a growing concern I have about Black & Decker's performance in the professional trade segment. Before talking about the issue at hand, however, I would like to provide a little background on our current situation here at Black & Decker in 1991. We know that Black & Decker has many strengths as a brand and as a company. Two recent research studies show that Black & Decker is among the most powerful brand names in the world. Let me say that one more time, that Black & Decker is among the most powerful brand names in the world. That is a huge point and something that's very important for us to remember going forward. Black & Decker professional tools are the highest quality in the industry. Black & Decker is rated number 7 in the top brands in the U.S., putting us in the same category as brands like Coca-Cola, Disney, and NBC. We also ranked 19th brand worldwide, the number 19th brand worldwide. We have a very strong brand recognition, and people generally believe our products to be of high quality. This is a major asset that we need to consider as we move forward. We have also made some recent business changes in our company as a whole. We purchased General Electric Household Divisions in 1984 and Amherst Corporation in 1989 in order to grow our business. These acquisitions led to the addition of strong brands to the Black & Decker company. We now have a wide range of products to offer our customers, especially in the at-home use segment. One downside, however, to these acquisitions is an increase to Black & Decker's overall debt. The Amherst Corporation purchase raised the company's long-term debt to $4.2 billion. In the last 5 years, however, sales have soared from just under $2 billion to just under $5 billion today. And our operating income has increased from just over 50 million to around $500 million. You can also see our current sales distributions on the screen in front of you. Now moving to the current situation for the market for power tools as a whole. You can see that there are three main categories: professional industrial tools, professional tradesmen's tools, and consumer tools. Professional industrial tools are purchased through distributors by commercial contractors. Professional tradesmen's tools are purchased through distributors such as Home Depot and Ace Hardware by residential contractors. And the consumer tools are purchased at stores such as Walmart and Kmart for at-home use, typically by the homeowner himself or herself. Though the professional tradesman tool segment is the smallest of the power tool market as a whole with 28% market shares, it's important to note that it has the highest growth rate in this market, which is 9%. Black & Decker has a presence in each of these power tool segments. We have a 30% share of the U.S. power tool market overall. More specifically, however, we have 20% of the professional industrial tools, 9% of the professional tradesmen's tools, and 45%, again, that's 45% of the consumer tools market. In the professional tradesman tool, which Black & Decker only has 9%, as I just mentioned, Makita, a Black & Decker competitor, has a 50% market share. This is important to note when you consider that the professional tradesman's tools are the fastest growing market segment. You can see our other main competitors on the screen before you. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, so here's 2,000 words worth of data. The bar graph shows revenue for each of the three market segments. As you can see, the professional tradesman's tool segment is our lowest revenue producing segment. The pie chart depicts Black & Decker's current position, as well as our competitors in the tradesman's tool segment. It's not hard to identify the weak link in the Black & Decker chain by looking at these two charts. It's obvious that what needs to be addressed is the professional tradesman's tool segment. In order to address this question, in order to fix the weak link, if you will, my team and I have identified 4 options. The first may not be considered much of an option, but we want to list it as a potential course of action, doing nothing and continuing business as normal moving forward. Again, we don't consider this a very viable course of action given our current situation. However, that is something that we may choose to do going forward. The second course of action may be considered sacrilegious by some of you in this room. However, it's a course of action that must be considered. In this case, we would simply cut our losses, if you will, and focus our energies and resources on building the consumer and professional and industrial segments. The third course of action involves sub-branding. You all may remember that strategy was very successful when we rebranded our replacement saw blades from Black & Decker to Piranha by Black & Decker. The final course of action that our team identified is to drop the Black & Decker name completely from our professional tradesman segment and totally rebrand this segment. In essence, we'll be taking Black & Decker completely off the table, at least as far as the name is concerned, with the tools that we'd be marketing to the professional tradesman segment. Incidentally, I had to share one anecdotal exchange I recently had outside of a Home Depot. I approached a tradesman who was packing up for the day from doing demonstrations. We engaged in conversation, and this tradesman basically told me that he stays away from Black & Decker largely because of our reputation as being a consumer brand, and thus not suitable, at least in his eyes, for, quote, real work, end quote. In this case, the tradesman segment could definitely benefit from a complete rebranding. As you see as our screen, the first option, like I mentioned, is to do nothing. The second option is focused on only consumer and professional industrial segments. The third is to keep Black & Decker name but engage in sub-branding. And the final is to completely rebrand the professional tradesmen's segment. After considering all options, our team's recommendation is to move forward with option number 4. Rebranding the professional tradesman segment of Black & Decker to DeWalt. I realize that this may come across as a bad move, as we were one of the first in the power tool industry and hold a 30% market share in the industry overall. We are at the top of the consumer market, and we've gotten there by producing a product that is reliable and has great value in homes. A side effect of that, however, is that our consumer products have changed the perception of our products in the tradesman segment, completely unintended consequence of success in one area. DeWalt is one of our existing brands, which has a 70% awareness rating and is recognized by 63% of consumers as one of the best brands compared to the Black & Decker rating of 44%. As seen in the picture above, we would also change the color of our tools to industrial yellow. Industrial yellow is not being utilized by any of our competitors and is representative of safety amongst tradesmen. The main reason we are recommending these strategies are perception of brand quality, the conditions of the industry, and the potential financial impact for Black & Decker. As discussed in the previous slide, Black & Decker has an unimpressive 9% segment share in the professional tradesman's market segment. This is likely linked to a brand perception issue amongst tradesmen's consumers. There is a belief that Black & Decker creates high-quality products, but that perception is most prevalent in the consumer tools market segment. Many professional tradesmen think that Black & Decker products are primarily designed for an at-home use. Thus, insufficient for their jobs. This is interesting considering the fact that 20% of the industrial tool market segment shares belong to Black & Decker. And industrial tools theoretically need to be of a higher quality than tradesmen's tools for their specific work tasks. This will lead us to conclude that the product quality is not the issue, but instead the issue is one of the perception amongst tradesmen themselves. This has been supported through 2 recent tests conducted by Black & Decker. In both lab testing and blind field testing, it has been established that Black & Decker products are of superior quality. Thus, consumer perception of Black & Decker's quality appeared to be out of sync with the reality of these test results. Black & Decker has also completed brand awareness and perception research. The results of this research further support the disconnect and found that Black & Decker had the highest level of brand awareness in power tools suppliers amongst tradespeople at 98%, but only 44% of respondents say they believe Black & Decker to be, quote, one of the best. The results from the research on brand awareness and from testing on our products come back to the same issue. Our products are of high quality, consumers know our name, but professional tradesmen believe our products to be only suitable for at-home use and thus not suitable for their tasks. The Porter 5 Forces model is a framework that helps us analyze industry conditions. It considers the following items: threat of new entrants, supplier power, threat of substitution, buyer's power, and overall competitive rivalry. Regarding threat of new entry, the overall threat of new entry in this case is minimal. There are few established brands who have already afforded the cost infrastructure necessary for a viable supply chain. Regarding supplier power, suppliers have limited power as they are several suppliers of raw materials needed to produce these products. Regarding threats of substitution, the threats of substitution is also minimal. These products are necessary to complete specific tasks efficiently. There are currently no substitutions available. Regarding buyer power in the industry is high. This goes back to the idea that consumers choose mainly based on their perceptions of quality. This is a high amount of consumer loyalty and few purchase locations for tradesmen. Finally, regarding competitive rivalry, the overall level of competitive rivalry is medium. Although there are few competitors, there are also few locations where competitors can purchase these tools. The cost of consumer switching tools is limited to the cost of the tool itself. As mentioned earlier, the competition is primarily based on consumer perception of quality. So how do we expect this to affect our market share? Over 3 years, data suggests that the rebranding efforts can increase our market shares from our current 9% to around 20%. This strategy will also increase our operating profits from 10% to 12%. This amount of change will be transformative for our business as we expect revenues to reach $109 million from our current mark of $35 million, an increase of $74 million over 3 years. Question now is, how do we make this happen? Our tactical team plans to implement our recommended course of action in a step process. First, we will begin phasing out existing Black & Decker products in the professional tradesman segment line. Second, we will launch our new DeWalt line. Simultaneously with this launch, we will initiate an aggressive marketing campaign aimed specifically at the professional tradesman's segment. We want this market to believe that purchasing these tools is the best business decision they can make. We will do this by presenting data on the durability and quality of our tools. We will also selectively target our intended audience with spokespersons who resemble them, not weekend warriors working on home projects. Currently, we're considering pulling the at-home consumer label out of the Black & Decker name. In case it could still be threatening to the DeWalt brand, our new DeWalt brand. However, this is a tricky proposition because we do not want to jeopardize the current success of the consumer segment. So we're still weighing those options. Thus, in summary and conclusion, we are concerned about our subpar performance in the professional tradesman segment. We believe the reason for our subpar performance in this area is due to a negative reputation with consumers within this segment as opposed to poor equipment or tool quality. After considering multiple alternatives, we feel that the best way to remedy this situation is to leverage our strengths of providing quality tools, but to rebrand our line catering to the professional tradesman segment. We will do this by introducing our current product line under the DeWalt brand name. DeWalt will simultaneously be aggressively marketed to the professional tradesman market segment. We anticipate a significant growth in this segment as a result of these actions within 3 years. Thank you for your time. Does anyone have any questions?